Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to some more F1 My Team. It's been a couple of days, but we are back on it. And to be fair, I'm feeling refreshed and ready to attack the end of the season. We've got 4 races to go. USA, Mexico, Brazil and Abu Dhabi. And we're going to see how it goes. It's me versus George Russell for the Drivers' Championship, the battle of teammates. And we go into this race with a points lead of above 50 points. So things are looking pretty good for us. But this track is not one of my best ones, and we could be in trouble here. So we're going to try and do our best, but I am expecting the worst around USA. And then after that, we've got some more favourable racetracks in Mexico and Brazil. But guys, if you missed the previous episode, then go check it out. I'll leave a link up in the top right hand corner of your screen, and a pretty decent race at Japan. And also guys, if you're going to enjoy today's episode, leave a like and subscribe for more. We hit 54,000 subs yesterday, so I want to try and maximize whatever's left of this year to really push the channel forward. So any help would be massively appreciated. And yeah guys, let's jump into it and let's see what happens. So jumping straight into the race weekend, we look at the weather forecast, and it says that it's going to be dry, which is awesome. Then looking at the R&D graph, we've actually brought yet another ultimate upgrade, and the gap is bigger than ever out front. And to be fair, I'm going to keep pushing on. As I've mentioned before, I want to try and maximize and max out the car by the end of the year, or if not, get very close to it. So we're doing a good job. We've got more ultimate upgrades on the way, and with that we can move into practice. And USA, you guys know the history with me in this track by now. It's one of the AI's better tracks, and me personally, I'm not a big fan of it, and I've never really been that quick around here, so I'm not expecting huge things. This could be very much a damage limitation Grand Prix, and we'll see how it goes. Either way, I'm just looking forward to it. The car ultimately does feel insane. You know, any track we go to, the car just works. So I'm looking forward to hopefully maybe surprising myself and having a good weekend. After practice, we went quickest of all, as always, and Russell actually only half a second off on medium tyres, which was pretty impressive. We then move into the R&D points, and we scored over 1,000 of those pretty much. And again, another strong practice. No changes in terms of the acclaim at this stage. Of course, you know, that's pretty unsurprising now, because we're so far into this career mode that the acclaim doesn't really change unless it's a big result, and usually a race win. So yeah, anyway, we move to qualifying, and this is when the engines get turned up to 11, and we're going to see what kind of pace everybody has, and it's going to be a really key session. I'm not expecting a lot. I'm going to keep my targets relatively low. I've often had bad results around here, so here we go, moving on to my first time lap of the session, heading through the S's, or so I thought, as we lose the back end and catch it at high speed. We just about avoid the wall on the right, and we managed to avoid big damage, which was really important for us. So we get a bit lucky, and nothing's wrong with the car. Big slice of luck and a big let off early on in qualifying. We then move on to my second run, and to be fair, this was a much stronger lap. As far as second runs go, this was really good for me, and a really good banker for my final lap. So you can see through the final corner, we jump straight into the top 6, and I'll take that. A 26.1, that was pretty solid. And I think on a personal best perfect lap, I think a 25 is possible. So that's what we're going to try and attempt here in what was my best qualifying lap of the session. So let's jump on board for a full lap of the Circuit of the Americas, and I'll get back with you once the lap is done. There we go, at the final corner, across the line. We improved by just over a tenth. Not the perfect lap. We still hang on to the 126, which is a bit of a shame. I thought a 25 was possible. But the big surprise really was we weren't off the pace that much. Really, actually, we had a strong session. I was really impressed. And only 2/10 off my teammate. Danny Kvyat up in 3rd place for AlphaTauri. Mercedes pick up a 1-2. Bottas dominating qualifying. But overall, yeah, I'm really happy with that. P7, that was not on the cards for me at all. I was fully expecting like a P13 or something. So, you know what? I feel optimistic, and that gives me a bit of hope heading into the race. So, overall, I'll take that. That is a strong session, and Russell isn't that far ahead. So, in terms of the championship battle, it's all to play for, and we're well and truly still in the mix. So, after qualifying, you can see the rivalry breakdown, of course, with Mick Schumacher, and some very marginal gains on the Acclaim as well. But, guys, that is going to be it for qualifying here today. We're now going to move into the race at the Circuit of the Americas for the US Grand Prix.
Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin, in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself 14 miles southeast of the city centre and home to the US Grand Prix since 2012. The latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. We're racing today then in Travis County, Texas, around the 20 corners of the wonderful Circuit of the Americas. We'll be reaching speeds of around 200 miles an hour, and there are plenty of good opportunities to pass, especially through the 2 DRS zones into turn 1 and the very long back straight into turn 12. Alongside me to discuss all the action today is Anthony Davidson. Thanks for joining us, Ant. And tell me, you were down in the pit lane earlier. How do you think the track conditions are today?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Kvyat, Russell, Lance Stroll and Leclerc, Martinez, Vettel, Perez and Max Verstappen, Albon, Sainz, Esteban Ocon and Aitken, Magnussen, Norris, Nick de Vries and Antonio Giovinazzi. Schumacher, Latifi, Gasly and Romain Grosjean sits at the back of the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
Here we go, guys. We start from P7 for the US Grand Prix. We've got a lot of work to do, but crucially, George Russell is not in the top 3, so it's looking pretty decent for us. Now, in terms of the race strategy, we're going to go for a very straightforward one-stopper here today. Soft onto medium, no rain expected. Fuel is 0.5 and negative, so just under, to kind of under fuel and be a little bit more competitive at the start. And the big concern I have is potentially overheating tyres at the start. But if we get through that, we should be okay. And I'm going to try and do my best. You know, this is a tricky track for me anyway, so I'm not expecting miracles, but we'll try and give it our best shot. Either way, let's jump into it and let's get the US Grand Prix underway. All right, here we go. Let's get the revs sorted out as we get ready for the 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go. Russell gets off to a flyer. The AlphaTauri off to a poor start. We're going to go to the outside here. Up towards turn 1. We're going to try and go the long way round. Oh, that's nice. We get 3 cars. Yellow flag further back as we try to get Hamilton, and we do. Just about. Lewis keeping his nose in there, but we just get ahead of him. Full commitment into there. What a start, though, from P7 to P4. That's exactly what we needed. And Russell up to P2 as well behind Bottas. So we responded to our teammate. What an incredible start, though. Really aggressive. The outside line working beautifully for us, and you saw the benefit of that. On the inside line, you tend to get stuck into turn 1, so you tend to get a lot more momentum on the outside line. That's exactly what we've got just there. Looks like our straight line speed is pretty slotted as well. Right, we're in the mix. Exactly what I wanted. To be fair, because of that start now, we may actually be able to win this race. That's already got me in a really good position here, so let's see how the race goes as lap 1 draws to a close. Oh, that's not going to help. Big lock up there. I was going to try and line up Stroll for a move, but that lock up might just affect my attempt. Meanwhile, Russell is about to put a move on Bottas, I think. So Russell is trying to get into the lead. I don't think he's achieved it yet, but he's getting pretty close. It feels like he's trying to make a move here. Getting pretty close to Stroll, but again, I don't quite get that corner nailed, just like the other one. But look at the run we've got here into turn 1. I thought about it, but not quite close enough. But I'm definitely quicker. Oh, that's close. Got to be careful there. Setup still doesn't feel great. I've been having issues all weekend, as you saw in the spin in qualifying, in terms of oversteer. I'm trying to manage it, but I am having a few issues here and there. I think we might actually get a run on Stroll here. I'm a bit far back, but I'm going to get the momentum. And here we go. Into the brake zone. Down the inside. Oh, that was close again. Not quite able to make it work. Russell also unable to get past Bottas at the minute, so we both stay where we are. Okay, this should be the one. This is the closest I've been to Kvyat. Bit of a lock up there again, but that's okay. We'll get away with that. We'll get really good traction as a consequence. This should be a relatively straightforward move this time around. Here we go. We've got the momentum. We're going to go to the outside. And there we go. We get it done. At the same time, Russell trying to get past Bottas, but he's not able to. So Bottas holds on to the lead. So we're now behind our teammate here. Let's go get him. Personal best. Not quite a fastest lap, but still good pace. Russell still tucked in behind Bottas. This is going to open up quite soon, I think. Oh, here goes Russell again. Down the inside. This time I think he might get it. It's going to be close. They're both side by side. We've got a front row seat at this one. We're going to just kind of close in a bit if we can. But no, Bottas I think has held on. No, Russell still on the inside. This is a great scrap between the two of them. But I think Russell has got it. Yes, he has. So Russell takes the race lead. Let's try and get past Valtteri Bottas here if we can. Very important move for the championship though, as Russell hits the front. We've got some insane straight line speed. Look at the difference here as we fly up to the back of Bottas. I'm going to have a little look. I thought about it on the brakes there, but not quite close enough. But we've got some ridiculous straight line speed. We're flying, so we're definitely going to use that to get past Valtteri, who's now out of DRS range of George Russell. Russell really pulling the pin out front. He's trying to open up a gap here, so let's try and get past Bottas if we can. Here we go. Just trying to get nice and tight and keep it tidy through the hairpin. Bottas won't have DRS this time, so watch the speed difference. Here we go. Look at the speed just climb as we fly onto the back of the Mercedes here. We're going to go to the inside. Oh, I've overcooked it a bit on the brakes there. Bit wide. Trying to avoid locking up, but that's given Bottas the invitation on the outside. We're going to try and hold it on the inside line through here, but Bottas is still there. Oh, he's right there. I've got to leave a bit of room if I can, but we get the traction on the outside. We're going to go in very, very narrow through here. Oh, bit of a snap there. Back end trying to get away from me. Qualifying issues shown again. I've been hitting the rear there from Valtteri. I think he may have got wing damage as he has, and Bottas actually pits. I got a hit in the rear from the Mercedes. But there we go. We're now P2 in this race. Right, we can now go after George. We lost a bit of ground, to be fair. That's not helped us. But crucially, we avoided a bit of an incident there. So, yeah, happy days. Let's go on with this. Stroll looking for a move, but you can see he doesn't have the straight line speed to compete with me. So, we're able to stay ahead for now. I just can't believe how quick we are on the straight. It's really, really great to have that level of performance. Either way, we're approaching the pit stops now, so this could be a key phase. Russell's really flying here. I've really lost my pace. That battle with Bottas, I've lost a bit of momentum, so I need to try and get back on it, but I am struggling on my rears a bit because of the oversteer issues. I've got to be careful. Through here, I'm really struggling with the rear. I can feel it getting very light, and I'm barely keeping it flat through there, only just. I think Russell pits actually, yes he does. That's early. Stroll as well.
George is going in for his stop.
So everyone pits. I'm guessing that's for the hard compound tyres then.
Approaching the pit window, you'll be on the mediums.
We're going to lap 12 and we're going to put on the medium tyres. So bit of a strategy offset here. This could be interesting. In a bit of an interesting move, it looks like everyone's gone for soft tyres. So that AI going for an aggressive 2-stop, at least Russell is anyway. So that's interesting because we're 1-stopping and we're going to go for mediums on lap 12. So this is going to be interesting now to see how this one kind of pans out. Ooh, I'm getting really scared now. I don't like that. Back end's getting way too loose, but we've got one more lap to go until we pit. Russell is absolutely flying. He's on a mission. This is going to be really interesting, this strategy. We're struggling now. Albon went long as well, so Albon potentially one-stopping, but let's see what lap time Russell sets. 28.8. Wow, he's really fast. Albon on for mediums, so he's on the same strategy as me. Right, let's push if we can on this in-lap without being too aggressive, because I don't trust the back end too much. Okay, here we go. We're going to hit 4 and 1 and only stop of the race. I'm definitely struggling now, though, big time on these tyres. It's kind of hard anyway on fresh tyres, but once the tyre wear kicks in, it's really hard to control the rear end. That's where I've lost a bit of pace. Either way, we're going to pit very safe into the pit lane, not taking any real risks at this stage. So Russell will keep on going. Another fastest lap from him. He's flying. We're going to go into fresh mediums. And we should rejoin, I'm guessing, behind Stroll, Magnus and Hamilton, I think.
Release.
2.5, that's a good stop. Here comes Stroll. It's going to be close, I'll tell you.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
But we do rejoin just behind these guys. Magnussen actually pit, so behind Charles Leclerc. Albon behind us. So the undercut didn't really work for Alex, considering he pit a lap before. We've got Bottas on hard tyres in P7, so lots of interesting strategies going on at the minute, but we've definitely lost a little bit of ground. I think Russell looks pretty quick around here, so it's going to be hard to beat him, but we'll try and do our best. We're closing in on these two. I'm trying to keep pace. I think I'm a bit too far back, even with my own straight line speed advantage, to maybe challenge Leclerc here, but we are going to get close, but Leclerc's actually challenging Hamilton here, so let's watch this. From afar, we might be able to pick up the pieces here. Just going to keep a bit of distance. Social distance from these boys as we look from afar. It looks like Hamilton's held on for now, so we're going to use that as an opportunity to go down the inside of Leclerc. Oh my goodness me, that was a bit of a tricky move. Did I get wing damage? No, I didn't. Thank goodness for that. That was a bit risky.
Some information on Stroll. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Ooh, okay, that's a nice one. Stroll's up ahead, so he's going to be dropping backwards. And he will no longer be a threat to us, so that's one car less to worry about. I am losing a lot of time stuck behind these guys though. So Russell's going to benefit quite a lot. Here goes Leclerc again. On to Lewis. This is not helping me one bit. Can we get the Ferrari here? Not quite. I was hoping they'd go side by side for a bit longer. Maybe I could catch one of them napping, but that's not going to be the case. Ooh, Mick Schumacher out of the race. For Williams, first retirement of the race. But crucially, no safety car or virtual safety car from that. Yellow flag zone. There is Mick Schumacher on the side of the road. I'm quite close to Leclerc here. I might be able to have a little look.
Okay, clear.
Here we go. On the back straight, we're closing in rapidly. These two are going to go at it one more time. And we're closing in on Stroll as well, who of course has car issues. Bit of contact between the two of them there. But Hamilton holds on again. Leclerc not able to get by. We try to get the cut back on him. Just can't get by at the minute. This is frustrating. Oh, Jesus. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Catch it. Catch it. Oh, yeah. Damn it. We're lucky we didn't get wing damage. We'll keep going, Wing damage. Oh, I've got a little bit. Yellow front left. Okay. Well, we're going to firm it and try and keep going. That's so annoying. I was getting frustrated behind Leclerc there. Hamilton in the pit lane. Let's see how much time we lost with that spin. Looks like we're still going to be ahead of Lewis, which is good. So that means we should still be ahead of Leclerc as well. So we're going to be, I believe, in the podium positions. Once everything is all said and done, the question is, can we stay there? I believe we should be P3 behind Alex Albon. So let's see. The damage isn't too bad. I can drive through it. So yeah, let's just crack on with this. I think I'm okay. Okay, George in the pit lane. So he's going to be well clear, of course, because it was already touch and go, you know, pretty close as it was anyway before the spin, and me getting held up by Leclerc and Hamilton, but that would have probably gone anyway. So now it's definitely gone. The one thing that the wing damage has made it quite easy through there for me, so I can actually keep it flat now quite nicely because of the understeer. So it's actually worked out okay. Stroll in the pit lane, and I'm guessing Leclerc should be as well. Yes, he is. Here we go then. Let's get ahead of these boys, and that should put us back onto the podium. Right, now the question is, can we finish on the podium? Let's find out.
Expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now.
It is getting a bit darker. Meanwhile though, the last few laps have been quiet, I've been chipping away and I've managed to find some pace. I've pulled away slightly from Bottas and I'm catching up to Albon. I am struggling in certain corners, but the fact I'm so fast on the straight is really helping me here, so we're still catching him. Gap is 1.7 and we could be within DRS soon. Alex has just responded to my pace. I was doing pretty well, but he's kind of picked it back up again now, so the gap is staying at 2 seconds. I'm giving it absolutely everything. Heading on to the last lap, I'm trying to get DRS on Albon as we pretty much hit our personal best. But this is all I've got. I'm trying my hardest. It's getting very darker as well. Well, unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Alex unleashed a load of pace on this lap. Russell dominates 28.3 and the fastest lap across the line. He finished nearly 30 seconds ahead of us, so fair play. George has been very dominant here today, and even though I hadn't spun, I don't think I would have won the race because he was very, very quick. I noticed it very early on, so fair play. George wins and picks up the fastest lap. We're going to come through though, and even with a spin and some wing damage, we're going to score a podium, and you know what? I'll take that. That's a decent result, and it's good damage limitation.
Thank you for all your hard work out there. That was a strong drive and a good finish. Well done.
Not just victory today then, but the championship as well. What a spectacular season they've had. Congratulations to the whole team. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium.
There we go, guys. That is it. Job done. Race over. And even, you know, whatever happened this race, I would have taken a P3 at the start of it. So, a very decent race, and Russell outscores us by 11 points. I can handle that. You know, that's not too bad. So, a decent race all in. Albon gets second. A great podium for him. And, you know, Red Bull have been pretty quiet second half of the season, so that's a big good result for them. Bottas P4 ahead of Leclerc and Hamilton. Stroll, Gasly, Verstappen and Magnussen ran out the top 10. Missing out on the points, we have Vettel, Ocon, Kvyat, Sainz, Aitken, De Vries, Norris. We also have Perez, Latifi, Grosjean and Giovinazzi and Schumacher. So, with that said, we move into the standings, and as you can see, we lead by 44 points over George Russell. So the next two races suit me a lot more, so we should be in much better you know, pace and also competitiveness in those next two races. Bottas up to 3rd, Leclerc up to 8th. We then look at the constructors, and we still lead the way, and the gap is going up every single race now. And to be fair, the points are, I think, over double now of what Mercedes is, so we are really dominating, as Mercedes though do overtake Red Bull for P2. And guys, that is it for this. We're now going to move into the main menu. Well, after the race, we outscore Mick Schumacher in a flawless 5-0. We increase our points total to 12-3, and then also some small gains on the acclaim. I'm surprised, to be fair, I've actually gained anything because, you know, I had a pretty rough race. But even then, again, it was still a podium, so I can't be too harsh on myself. And finally, we look at the cash bonuses. We get a full payout from all of our sponsors, which is awesome. And then a few damage deductions, of course, due to the issues in qualifying and the race. But overall, a decent weekend's work, and we add more cash to the final pot. Well, the next race is only a couple of days away, so we've only got enough to really go for some reaction training for George Russell. We then move over to the R&D graph, and we're going to add on some more upgrades. This time we're going to go for some chassis upgrades, and we're going to go we'll try and go, I think we'll go for the major one first. We'll get that on, and then we'll try and do the minor one afterwards. So we'll get that on the car, and we'll move on to the next race. So let's skip ahead and move into Mexico. And yeah, guys, that is going to be it for today's episode. If you guys enjoyed it, then leave a like and subscribe for more. And once again, guys, I'm trying to maximize and gain as many subs as I can by the end of the year, and any help would be massively appreciated. Let's try and hit 800 likes on today's video, and finally check out the 2 videos that you would have seen on screen. But guys, that's it from me, and I'll see you all next time. But until then, take care, and let's goodbye from me.